So first off, give me a little bit of what your path has been like in baseball. I know it's hard to summarize. I'm sure you've played your whole life, but really where Cedarville fits in that path.
Yeah, so I was a junior in high school, was going to be a senior, and my brother was kind of looking at schools. Um, Actually, I think I was a senior. Got that wrong. It was like the fall of my senior year. My brother was looking at schools because he was at a junior college playing baseball, and the Cedarville reached out to him, and they wanted him to come on a visit, and the coach kind of told him to bring, do you have any younger brothers or anything? And he told him to bring me along. And at this point, I had been I had been cut from the varsity team as a junior, so I had not played varsity baseball at all. And I came on the visit, and they offered my brother a scholarship. And for whatever reason, the coach at the time decided to offer me a scholarship as well. He just he was just kind of banking on me getting bigger and being good like my brother. So he gave me offered us a scholarship, and I'd say like a week later, we both decided to take him up on that. It was kind of weird because I hadn't played varsity baseball, so it was almost like a little embarrassing because I didn't want to like tell a bunch of people that I was going to play college baseball and I hadn't even proved myself at my own high school. So that was kind of how I ended up at Cedarville.
Okay, and how many years are you and your brother apart?
He is 3.5 years older than me. So
Okay.
yeah, he was he went to the University of Buffalo. He actually wasn't playing baseball at first out of college, and then he spent 2 years at a junior college. So that's how he kind of ended up looking for a school at the same time.
Great. And how did the coach, I mean, did he have you do like simple drills? Was he just like, show me like if you can hit or, what was that like? Because what position had you played? I know you said that you weren't playing varsity, but when you were playing JV in high school. Was that
Yeah,
correct?
yeah. So I
What
played
what position were you playing? How did all that go?
I was playing third base, and I had only played 1 year of JV because I got cut from JV as well as a freshman. Um, I was playing third base, but the coach never saw me pick up a baseball. Um, he just he just took our word for it. So he took a chance on me. Yeah, he had never seen me play at all. Not no video or anything.
Wow, that has to be a unique path to kind of be cut in high school and then get this offer from a college, a scholarship offer at that. So then when you started playing at Cedarville, what was it like to play on this team? I mean, what did this do to develop your skills?
Yeah, it was different. It was a competition like I hadn't really experienced. Um, so I started playing third base in the fall, and I quickly realized I couldn't play third base at the college level, but I had a good arm. So they just moved me to the mound. I started started pitching, throwing bullpens, and then it worked out from that point on. I just pitched the rest of my career. So I haven't picked up a bat since the fall of my freshman year of college.
Wow. So how many years did you play then at Cedarville? Just so that I'm good on my facts.
I played 5 years at Cedarville, um, but I really only pitched in like 2 or 3 years. I had a my freshman year actually I got a red shirt for an injury. Um, so it was an elbow injury, and they didn't really know the extent of it. I got an MRI eventually, but it didn't really show much. And then so I missed that whole year, and then I came back the next year, and it still hurt, and I ended up having to get a surgery, Tommy John surgery, and it took me out another full year. So between injuries and COVID, I missed my first 2 full years, and really I didn't pitch a whole lot in my third year either.
And then you said you were primarily coming out of the bullpen to start. And did you ever become a starter?
Yeah, I came out of the bullpen as a junior, and then my senior year and my fifth year, I was a starter.
Okay. Um, when you reflect, can you just give me some of your thoughts when you reflect just on that portion? Because I've gone through injuries personally. It's a lot. It's really hard. I was a professional dancer, and just to get back from an injury can be challenging. But to kind of be in high school, maybe not think this was really going to happen for you, and then it happens, and then you're injury prone, and then you go through this whole process. Can you reflect on that some for me?
Yeah, it was definitely a punch in the gut. I mean, I was super excited about playing college baseball, and then what felt like 2, 3 years, I couldn't really play at all. So there was times I remember like sophomore year, after having the surgery, like there was times where I didn't really know if I would ever play again or what that would look like. Because it's a pretty major surgery, and not everyone is able to come back from that. And I just remember like I didn't really feel part of the team because I was on the team, but really, I wasn't going to games. I wasn't traveling with the team. Um, so it was just hard for me in that. And like, that's a point in my life where I really had to rely on my faith and like realizing that it's just a game at the end of the day. And whether like God wants me to play baseball, that's up to him. And I just have to do what I got to do. But uh, it worked out. So got on the other end of that injury and started improving a lot. Um, but still, it was one of the hardest times of my life for sure.
Absolutely. What did Cedarville give you, not only baseball wise, but maybe as maturing you, into further into adulthood to kind of be ready for this next step?
Yeah. Um, and my time at Cedarville was great. It gave me a wife, most importantly, but it Cedarville was the place where I kind of grew as a man, and I met some of the best people in my life. Every groomsman in my wedding, besides my brother-in-law, was my teammate or roommate at Cedarville. So some of the best people in my life. I had great coaches, just character-wise, they really helped me shape me into the man that I am, and it helped having my older brother there as well for the first 2, 3 years, because he's someone I really look up to, and he was a great role model for me. Um, but yeah, Cedarville, great school, and like I think if I wasn't at Cedarville, it could have been a lot worse for me because I wouldn't have had those relationships around me.
Absolutely. Now, talk about your path a little bit after Cedarville. How, because you're with the Brewers minor league system. Am I right on that?
Yes.
Okay. So tell me what that path was like and when did you start thinking like this might be for real? Like I can do this.
Yeah. So my I had a sixth year to play, and at Cedarville I'd already finished my undergrad. I had already gotten a master's degree. So I kind of went to my coach and I said, I'm gonna play my sixth year at the Division 1 level, just to challenge myself. And there really wasn't much more for me to do at Cedarville, like educational wise. And so I went to Northern Kentucky University. Um, my coach had a connection with their coaches, and I really just fell in love with the coaching staff there as well. And so I played there. I was starting there. I got to start in the regional game against the number 1 team, Tennessee, in the regional. So pretty cool experiences just going to play there. I grew up a Georgia Bulldogs fan, and we got to go and play Georgia as well. So just living out a few dreams at the D1 level. And then I had some interest during that season, this past college season, but because of my age, I was 23, and it's very hard to get drafted if you're old like that. Kind of considered a grandpa on the team. So that didn't the draft came around, and I heard from a few teams that we might take you as a free agent, but nothing ever came of it. So I went and played in the MLB Draft League, which is kind of for guys like me who are trying to earn like a free agent contract kind of on their last chance. And I knew like I just got married, and my wife was gracious enough to support me, and we knew it was kind of my last shot. But pretty confident that it would work out. And there was about a week left in the draft league season when the Brewers called. Um, so yeah, it worked out. I mean, I didn't really expect it. Um, I was confident that I could play at this level, but I just didn't know if it would work out. And when the Brewers called, it was just a moment that I'll never forget.
Yeah, talk about that call. I mean, reflect on it a little bit.
Yeah, I was in the locker room. I was in my uniform actually. We were going out for a game and I saw a text from a number that I didn't have, and he just said he was with the Brewers and asked if I could call. And I could see my manager with my team was kind of like looking at me because he knew. And I went and called. I think I cried a little bit, and then I hung up. I called my parents, my parents-in-law, and then I actually drove a couple hours to the hospital where my wife was working overnight and surprised her. 'Cause she's a nurse. She works night shift, so I got to drive to the hospital and I showed up with a Brewers hat on and she started crying as well.
That's amazing. So, are you in single A then,
Yeah,
or
yeah. So I'm in high A. So it
okay, hi.
starts when I signed the season. The last year's season was kind of wrapping up, so I never got to go to one of like the affiliate teams. So I was in Arizona for a few months, just playing in kind of scrimmages and practicing. And then out of spring training this year, back in March, I was assigned to low A. So there's like rookie level, which is in Arizona, and then low A, high A, double A, triple A, and then the big leagues. So I started in low A and I was there for about a month, and then I got promoted in April. And then I've been in um that was in that was in North Carolina, and then here in high A we're in Wisconsin. We're pretty close to Milwaukee, and I've been here since April. So
That's great. What has this been like to get to this next level with this next level of coaches? Again, if you could touch on both personally and just baseball training, skill
yeah.
wise.
Yeah, the coaches at every level here are really great, and they all, if you're going to be a professional coach, you really have to know what you're doing. So I trust every coach I've had so far. I think they've helped me a lot. And the in low A at the beginning of the year, I definitely felt like the grandpa again because there's a 17-year-old on our team. Like there's guys from 18 to 24 like me. So this level is a little more kind of my age, and double A will definitely be guys my age, but it's been cool just getting to live a life where baseball is your job, and but also understanding like when I'm not at baseball, it's really nice to just not talk about baseball and you know talk to teammates or whatever about just life in general. But
Absolutely. Go ahead, finish.
yeah, I was just gonna say like as far as personally like developing, it's definitely adjustment because in college it's a very like everything's very structured, and there's like a huge team aspect, and that the team aspect is present here in pro ball, but it's also like your career, and you need to balance like being a great teammate and also like doing what's best for your career. So it's been an adjustment on that side, but it's also they give you a lot of freedom to like to be the best player you can. So really, if you're disciplined and you're working hard at it, like um, you're gonna have success.
That's awesome. And I know you're talking a little bit that the schedule's a lot. So, what's the grind kind of been like to adjust to?
Yeah, the schedule is a lot. So you're there around noon every day, and the games aren't until 6:40. So when the clubhouse opens, that's when you kind of settle in, get ready for the day. You're doing your workouts, you're doing your rehab for your arm, you're doing um, just practice in general for pitchers. We're throwing, just getting your body ready for that day and for that game. Um, And then the game, obviously you're there until 10, 11 p.m. some nights. So they're long days, especially on the road because we play 6 games at a time. So when we travel for almost a week. Um, so you're not home a ton, and when you are, you just have to make the most of it. But they provide meals and housing, so it's really not as bad as it used to be back in the day.
That's good. So are we thinking, is double A or triple A a possibility this season, or do you think that's maybe more the realm of next year, hopefully?
Um, I don't really know. My kind of personal goal is to reach double A this year, but obviously like my coaches aren't even the ones that make that decision. That's kind of people higher up in the organization. So only thing I can really do is pitch my best and hope they move me up, and also just understanding that like wherever you are, you kind of have to be present. So that's a little bit of an adjustment. Like you always want to be at the next level, but you also want to be like the best teammate to your current teammates that you can, because everyone's goal is the same. We all want to be at the next level, but um, nobody's going to get there by just whining and begging and trying to get there by complaining. So um, the goal is double A, but whether I get there or not, that's not really up to me, and I just got to do everything I can to um, have them make that decision for me.
Absolutely. Just a few more. And thank you for giving me so much time.
Mhm.
So you mentioned, you're 23, you feel like the grandpa. I'm 40. So hearing you say that is funny, but I know what you mean in athlete terms.
Mhm.
What has that been like though, to kind of, be the one with a little more life experience maybe on the team? I mean, has that kind of, I don't want to say forced you into a leadership role, but has that kind of expanded your horizons with that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like the college guys in general, because both college and high school guys can get drafted. So I feel like the college guys in general just have a little more experience to draw from. And there's a lot of high school guys that I've played with that are very mature for their age. But I think both having that like those 6 years of college experience and then being married, like a lot of the guys will just they just ask questions a lot. And I think it's fine. I love like answering questions about my life and how I got here, but it's pretty cool to just tell them about my story and um, be that grandpa. I mean, it's kind of a role that I've embraced. I'm gonna be I'm gonna be 25 in August, so I'll be even more of an older figure on the team, but it's cool. I think just pouring into the younger teammates and not making them feel like I'm some old guy that they can't approach, but just someone they want to talk to and get advice from.
Absolutely. Okay. And then how do you deal? Pitching is very hard. I mean, every position is hard and brings a different amount of pressure, but there's a lot of pressure on a pitcher, especially a starting pitcher. How did you learn to deal with that when you transitioned, or as you've been growing in that position?
Um, I still struggle with it. There's like no doubt when you're on the mound, everyone's watching you, and whether you like it or not. So when you're doing good, it's awesome, and when you're doing bad, it's even worse. So um, part of the way we kind of deal with that is breathing out there and kind of realizing like you can only control so much as a pitcher. Um, like I can only control what I can control, and what happens after that is not really up to me. So if I make a good pitch and they don't make a play behind me, it's not something I really get mad about. And if I make a bad pitch and the hitter doesn't do anything with it, then be a little frustrated with myself because, that's something I can control and I didn't do a great job of it. Um, so just learning how to pitch that way, which the Brewers do a great job of focusing on that. Um, it's not really like a results oriented philosophy. It's more of like a process oriented philosophy. So they do a good job of trying to take the pressure off of us as far as results go. But there's always going to be pressure. But I kind of like it. Gives you a little bit of adrenaline, and I think it helps me in the end.
Yep, I would agree with that.
Mhm.
And so the All-Star break is coming up here next week, and the game and all the hoopla. Are you going to be able to catch any of it, or is that kind of a fun thing to just kind of watch? The best of the best do their thing.
For sure. It's definitely super cool to watch, especially the other stuff that goes along with it. There's a there's like a futures game for young guys that one of my old teammates is playing in, and I don't know how much of this stuff I'll be watching. My wife and I are going on a trip. Um, we'll be on the beach, so I don't know how much we're going to be watching TV and stuff like that. But it'll be nice to disconnect from baseball as far as playing goes. But I'll definitely be keeping up with the All-Star game, and then the draft is also happening. So we'll see who some of my new teammates will be.
Yeah, that's fun. And then my last one, I think I always say last one, but I think it will be. Um, you know, in reflecting on your whole path, is there a message that you have for people who may not have a super linear path into whatever their passion is?
Yeah, I think just keep going and just keep working. Like there's baseball is a game of failure, and um, I would know I failed a ton over the last 6, 7 years in high school, like cut from teams when I was 13, 14. So you're gonna fail a lot, but just knowing like that failure doesn't define your career and it doesn't define like who you are as a person, um, would be kind of my message to them. And then the other thing is like just keep working at it. Like you never know what can happen. If I would have told my 13-year-old self that I'd be a professional baseball player, like I wouldn't believe it. So um, you never know what's going to happen, and all you can do is work at it and um, not listen to people who are doubting you or saying you can't do it, and just keep going. I heard you're talking to Peyton
Yeah, Monday.
on the yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
pretty
exciting.
cool.
Yeah, so yeah, it was so great to get both of you. And well, do you want to comment on the fact that you were roommates, right? Were you college
Yeah,
roommates?
we were.
Okay, and the fact that both of you have made it, into the minor system.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. He was like, so I lived with him my sophomore year in the dorm room, and then we lived in a house together for 2 years. He spent a summer with me in Buffalo. Um, and he's like his dad, he's got family friends that know my family because he's from the Atlanta area and all my family's from Atlanta. So I've known him even before we got to Cedarville. Like he reached out for it by email and was like, "Can we be roommates?" So
That's
we've been really close, and it's been pretty cool. He went to a different school like I did for his last year, his COVID year, but he had the same kind of path where he had to go play independent ball, and he was reaching out through LinkedIn to coaches. And I did the same thing because he was like, "Yeah, just do it."